Yesterday, a random comment in AskReddit helped diffuse a potentially violent situation. How has Reddit unexpectedly helped you? I met my current girlfriend at the Global Reddit Meetup 2012 weekend festivities my area had. Pretty much my definition of unexpected benefits from Reddit. I signed up for Reddit Meetup a while ago. Guess I'm finally going. Reddit has taught me a study habit I've never grasped before. I retain information and evidence much better when it's part of an argument. Debate. Basically, when you care about a subject, you commit parts of that subject to memory. Now if only Redditors argued about important stuff. Could you pass those tips along to a soon first year college student? Before Reddit I never went to the gym or exercised when I was depressed. Reddit has advised me that physical exercise is the best way to diffuse feelings of depression. It's a pretty great trick. Thank you Reddit. Yeah, our fitness had a pretty big effect on my last 18 months. Back during Christmas our atheism and our Christianity had a donation war to see who could make the most donations to two different charities. A lot of money was raised and really helped everyone come together in time for the holidays. Frick you religion, we're gonna save the fricking world with our money. No frick you science, we have money too. Arg. That's how I imagine it going down. Posted from a throwaway. About a year ago I was pretty down. I'd moved to a new country for a job and knew very few people. I had studied with some guys at college who I would drink with every now and then, but no one really close. My GF still lived where we were from, which was about 7,000 miles away, so seeing her was almost impossible. Most of my family were near my girlfriend or another 4,000 or so miles away from me. After a year of being there I was starting to get pretty down. I didn't meet up with my former college friends that much because they had their own lives here and own friends from before college. I had a cousin who I had a fairly good relationship with, but because of a falling out between our parents that relationship disappeared. Someone had posted about a meetup in the city I live in and I decided to go for it. After a night filled with copious alcohol I got invited to go out the next night too with a few of the Redditors to a club. It then became an almost weekly plan that we'd meet up for drinks together. That saved me. I was ready to pack everything in and quit my job and move back home. I'm working in a family business, so that would have meant selling the company my parents spent 30 years building. That friendship that developed has been almost crucial to me keeping sane. Eventually things worked out. My girlfriend moved here. She became my fiancé and will be my wife in exactly 1 month. Gave me a connection to those with the same problems, loves, hates, pet peeves, etc. and taught me I am not alone in my mind and thoughts. It also connected me to those who have a vastly different viewpoint than me, and has given me insight into what makes them tick. I can't even say I hope you crap your pants out loud without laughing. There are just so many levels of insult with that statement. They should teach this in driver's education if when they go over road rage. Reddit has helped me unexpectedly by appreciating my honesty with posts such as yesterday. We'll have a good laugh over it, and I'll be tormented by it, but it is enjoyable for me. Masturbates to his sister. Bless you sir. If every Redditor was like you, the site would be a dang good place. My ex had just cheated on me, and I was seriously losing it. I ran into a thread about someone going through a similar situation, and all of the advice and encouraging words really helped me move on with my life. Our eating disorders and our recovery are great sources or information and support that have helped me finally make a breakthrough in an eating disorder I've had since 6th grade. After years of actively wanting to change the way I think about food, I can finally feel the change and see the results. That's really wonderful. Good for you. I was sitting with a group of friends and we sort of ran into one of those awkward silences, and so to break the deadlock I was like, "Hey guys, I read about this guy on the internet who comes in a box." Everyone was like, "Hey, tell me more. That sounds really interesting." Reddit introduced me to Community, Breaking Bad and Parks and Recreation. I'm ODing on Community as the Mo. I watched 2 seasons in a day. My dreams have been set in the Community universe the last few nights. Watch Space next. Generally speaking, Reddit has given me confidence. I used Reddit in such a way that is perhaps the exact opposite of how many others use it. Whenever I post I am 100% honest. sometimes painfully honest to the point of slight embarrassment. I use the anonymity of the internet in order to be myself. When I started this experiment in honesty, I expected to be mocked and laughed at and scorned. Overall, to my great amazement, my small social experiment ended up giving me great confidence because Redditors tended to generally like me, agree with me, say they've done similar things, made similar mistakes, fought similar ideas. I felt a connection to people which I've never experienced before thanks to the good people here. Even though I was only technically accepted for who I was in one place, it has helped my confidence levels in all areas of life. TLDR. I went for 100% honesty on Reddit and expected rejection, and only got overwhelming acceptance. Reddit has taught me how to speak good. There are lots of grammar Nazis on Reddit. Also, that I shouldn't ever post ever. Lots. It helped me make a really good friend. Person I went to school with was a Redditor. Didn't really know her too well until I found out she was a Redditor. Now I consider her to be one of my best friends. She will probably read this at some point. Reddit has taught me how to get along better with some people and why to be pissed off at others. The people of Reddit, including the paid ones, have shown me that I have better options in life. Near to a year ago, when I was still a lurker, there were several testosterone deficient men posting AMAs. After reading these posts and almost all of the comments, I was pretty certain my depressed boyfriend, who I was witnessing in a slow spiral of despair and apathy, fit the same symptoms. I gently urged him to talk to his doctor about it. I asked if I could go with him on his next checkup or write a list of all his symptoms and talk about possibilities with his doctor, get a blood test. It took him about 6 months to actually listen to me and talk to his doctor. He finally had the blood work run. He was severely deficient and is now getting a regular dose of testosterone. He said it's like waking up, pulling the wool from your eyes. He keeps thanking me profusely and telling me I saved his life. I keep telling him Reddit did it. I'm just happy he's better. Thanks Reddit. Back in the day, much before this account, when this website was focused more around articles than memes and jokes, Reddit taught me to be a more skeptical and questioning person. Reddit also helped me be more understanding of people and their perspectives. Believe it or not, that AMA with the truck driver probably saved my life. A few months ago there was an AMA of a truck driver. I remember reading a part where he warned that people shouldn't come to complete stops when merging to get onto the highway. My BF was driving and I was being a second pair of eyes. Where we were getting onto the highway, there wasn't a yield sign, but rather arrows to merge in. Mind you, that traffic was still moving very fast. Well knowing we couldn't stop with more cars coming behind us, I turn around to see a huge 16-wheeler speeding up on us. I yelled to step on it. We were fine after that. Thanks truck driver man. Shit, Redditors is a good place to find this sort of thing. The name is not a reference to SRS, BTW, that's just an unfortunate coincidence. SRD makes me feel all calm inside and restores my faith in humanity. Cool. Reddit is great. I have multiple accounts. One for self-texting and stories and news and politics. One for cats and lols and WTFS. One for porn network and art. It's a great community. And one for commenting on my own posts. Kinda small in comparison to some others, but I came across a thread which was about painful moments in your life. Anyways, during an argument with an ex that started, I ended up shouting I hope he steps on a fricking Lego. Ended up diffusing the argument. Seriously though, if you're so idiotic you can't clear before you turn right on red, then just don't do it. Living in Katy, Texas, there are a ton of rednecks with lifted trucks here. All of them can't drive for crap. Rednecks. It's glorious to save American lives by killing people overseas, but saving American lives by driving responsibly is just boring. Why don't you get your husband to anger management classes before he ends up hurting someone? It may have amused you last night, but when he goes to prison for assault and leaves you a single parent family, I don't think it will be as funny. I read a thread last night where someone mentioned the guy who dropped a giant crap, then for Reddit science photographed it, then scooped it out and weighed it. I subsequently had a dream in which I dropped a giant crap, then weighed it. Thanks, Reddit. It is helping me come to terms with my mental illness and the fact that I still deal with it instead saying that it's gone. Because of Reddit I was able to tell a decade-long friend the truth about it. I even posted about it in an attempt to meet others like me. I made sure it was buried because I'm still ashamed of it. Baby steps and all that. One of my close friends is dearly in love with cats and she suffers from depression. Whenever she is feeling down, she always asks me to link cat pictures to cheer her up. I just go to RAWW and get some cute cat pictures and she is always happier and can go to sleep. Reddit gave me the confidence to be openly atheist. I don't mean shoving in people's faces, but not feeling pressured to say things like I'm praying for you when in a public situation. Reddit has shown me that it's okay to have my own beliefs just like people that are religious. I've even been able to stand up to my mom when she started nagging me about not believing in God. I simply stated that I respect her beliefs and expect her to respect mine. According to RSRS, I am a foul misogynist beast who is a rapist and a pedophile. According to our Pyongyang, I am a capitalist pig who will soon bow down under the might of the Jush philosophy. According to our men's rights, any wife I get will divorce me and steal my money or children. Also, if I am accused of rape I am fricked. According to our Today I learned a bunch of facts. According to our Fear Me, all hail the honored student as he walks from the throne. So yeah, interesting stuff. Thanks to you guys, I know so many more imaginative quips, insults and comebacks to relate back to my mates, who don't Reddit, and the stories I relate back at group gatherings always garner attention. Also, this place is like self-therapy, and however bad I think I have it, there's always someone that's crap themselves. Hi, I am new to Reddit, or well at least having an account and haven't really figured out how to make a thread but saw a thread with a guy who calls himself the Grand Wizard. All his posts are about PPL should kill themselves or kill another person. He has at several occasions said that the 911 victims deserved it and regrets that there wasn't more casualties. Well, my point being he could be a serial killer in the making, and making a thread to either find out who he is or something to stop the worst case scenario. Thanks in advance. Just read some of his comments. That dude is creeping me out, man. I have an American ex that always talked and acted very confident. Because of this, I never really doubted what he was saying about American politics and the way the US works. After we broke up and I started doing my own research, it was clear his information was coming from Fox News and media outlets of the same sort, even though he was very much not a Republican. Reddit has helped me get better informed about the way other countries work, and especially about the US system and mentality. Now I can call his butt out on the bulls he kept spewing all these years. The easy answer however would be Reddit helped me find that 100% right for my taste, which it undoubtedly has. Reddit is full of a lot of bulls as well, especially the political stuff. Last night I was reading the "When Did You Think You Were Going to Die" thread and came across a link to the Wikipedia page for precordial catch syndrome. Reading the page I realized this was what had been plaguing my girlfriend with terrible pain every night. Interesting. If he humiliates the other guy in his mind, your husband's ego stays pretty much intact and his rage dissipates. That's what road rage comes down to, two egos clashing. Pretty much. Pulled over in road rage incident. I'm gonna kick your butt and send you home to mother in a cardboard box. What do you say to that if? One sec. Lemme see what Reddit says. My boyfriend of 4 years just broke up with me. He was the love of my life and I have been so messed up and devastated and it hasn't even been a week. To make things worse, my laptop broke the night before so it's been extra difficult for me to distract myself when I'm stuck at home, which is most of the time. It will be a week tomorrow since it happened, and every night when I'm struggling to sleep I go on Reddit, mostly AskReddit or the relationship subreddit so I can read until I eventually sleep. I also check it a lot throughout the day when my thoughts are getting to be too much. Life has been so difficult for me these days, but I am so thankful to Reddit and its community for helping me fight the loneliness and the sadness. I'm pretty sure that this will be buried under all the posts, but to whoever reads this, you're helping me get through life right now, so thank you. Internet bear hug for you. That's a good band-aid solution, but he still needs to seek some type of long-term anger management. Nobody should be getting that angry all the time, and I'm saying this as a person who is quite crabby. I learned that I'm introverted, and that's the reason I've felt the way I've felt all my life. I've experienced much less depression lately, and I've realized my potential in life now that I'm working with my brain and not against it. I used to have road rage too. I am female and have actually confronted a driver, which was really stupid. She was a young woman driving a sports car and I was driving a very large SUV. I'm driving home from work doing the speed limit, which was 45. As I was approaching a red light, this woman cut in front of me and forced me off the road. Had there been a ditch, my vehicle would probably have rolled over. My day at work had been a very trying one and I was tired and pee off anyway, so being pushed off the road by some nitwit who decided at the last moment to change lanes just pushed me over the edge. I caught up to her at the next light, put my vehicle in park, got out and approached her car. She had her window down but didn't see me approaching. I scared the crap out of her when I got to her window. I very firmly and in anger told her what she had done. She apologized profusely and said she didn't know what she had done. I warned her about paying attention when driving, then I got back in my vehicle and left. This woman could have had a gun and shot me on the spot for all I know. It was a stupid thing for me to do. Since then, I have never confronted anyone like that. I came to the realization that I could be killed, and also, if people continue driving like that young lady, eventually they will get into an accident. I still get cut off by drivers, have almost been hit many times, and I say things about it to myself but don't act on it. Yet you may have saved her life as well. If she'd gotten scared enough from one encounter to pay more attention to what she's doing while she's driving, she and others hopefully won't have to deal with potentially the same type of accident again. I have one. A bit late, but I want to share. I held in my farts in school and waited till the end of the day to let it rip when I was home. Sometimes they would slip out a bit, making it smell around me a little. I was never really sure if it was me. This caused me anxiety sometimes. When I was sure it was going to escape, it would also make me somewhat awkward when I was focusing on not trying to let one slide. There was also when the gas decided to go back a bit into your intestines and make a noise. Kinda like when you're hungry, when it was quiet in class, adding to my anxiety because I thought people knew. Until I read a post on our fitness about someone asking why they were so gassy. After reading it, I came to the realization that I was lactose intolerant, which would explain my gassiness and sometimes foul smelling poots. My anxiety about thinking I smell is gone, and I feel it took this weight off of me, making it easier for me to feel comfortable in a classroom. Now I keep away from milk products and just feel better physically without it in my diet. TLDR. If you're gassy all the time, you might need to check your diet. Not me, but my girlfriend. Yesterday she was desperately searching for an essay topic for some schoolwork, and by sheer coincidence, I found out about Israeli Nazi hunters from Reddit at the same time, and this was the perfect topic for her essay. TLDR. Reddit is useful for school. Bro, I laughed until teary-eyed. I'm prone to the occasional Douchinazole-induced rage on the road and miss that pro tip. Hopefully it works as well for me. 10/10. Good tactic. I am going to try this. Sounds silly, but Reddit has taught me there are a lot of good folks out there, even on the internet. There was a thread a few weeks back about making birthday cards for pediatric cancer patients in the hospital. It warmed my heart to read the thread. In Maryland, a thunderstorm in our area shut off the power for 12 hours. A recent thread in Reddit told us to stick a flashlight in a jug of water to make ambient light. It really helped us because we had no candles and we wanted to play Monopoly. I'm a little late to the party, but here it goes. In November 2010, a Redditor posted a question on AskReddit. Asked something like, if all Redditors are alone, why isn't there a subreddit for all the Forever Alaners to go meet one another? I clicked on the thread and one of the top comments linked to the subreddit R4R. I went there and decided to make a post, just for the heck of it. I got a couple of replies, and I really hit off with one of the guys. We went on a date the next week and we have been together ever since. I later found out that he was directed to R4R that night from the same AskReddit post. So whoever made that post, I thank you. Without you I wouldn't have found the love of my life. My father was like your husband in regards to road rage. I remember a few altercations growing up. The one that really stands out is when an old man cut him off. My dad then ran the guy off the road and ripped him out of the car. He was an old man with one arm who happened to be a World War II vet. He had a hat with special pins on it that my dad recognized immediately. My dad is a huge history buff and very thankful and respectful of veterans of any war. He never felt so crappy in his life. He apologized profusely, threw money at the guy, got in the car and had tears running down his face. My father does not cry. From that day, he has progressively calmed down. He still has his moments, but now that he's a grandfather, had a major health scare 2 years ago that made him think he was going to die, and has a CCW. He has calmed down. Oh, and also, from that day on, every time he goes out to eat, if he sees someone who is a war vet eating alone, he talks to them for a few minutes, says thank you, and then secretly he pays for their meal and tip. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.